So what about when you go in then? How did you get treated by the inmates?
Well, I mean, at first it was quiet, and then it was just like fucking. I don't know. You feel your way around. At first you just do your own thing. You have a game of spades and that.
Do people know who you were?
Well, yeah, because at the time I was in there, the Joey Crack was in there, and Andy.
Right.
So there's a couple of my co-defendants.
Let me just explain that then. Because that was a second group of co-defendants, we did not have do not house with them. So co-defendants were housed with co-defendants, provided they were from different groups that were arrested. So over 100 were eventually arrested, and they were all in different groups, SWAT team raids and such. So you had Joey Crack and Andy?
Yeah, I had Joey Crack and Andy in there.
Yeah.
And Tom come as well.
Oh, yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
And little Patrick,
yeah,
he was there. So I knew quite a lot of people in there, and we'd have a laugh. And whenever you get store and stuff like that, Andy would give me some honey buns and fucking peanut butter and stuff like that. We'd get on, we'd look after one another. I learned very quick not to call people punk or bitch, because one of my fucking cellies was called Pork Chop, and he was going on, and like he goes to me, but listen, tonight, will you do me a favour? Can you not snore as loud? I said, stop bitching, will you? What the fuck's up with you? He said, what did you say? I said, you heard? I said, stop bitching. No, you're going on like a bitch. He's like, listen, do me a favour. I said, what? He said, out there. He said, I know you don't know what you're saying, but out there, try not to say that to me, because I'll have to fight you. I'm thinking, I don't really give a fuck either way, you know what I mean? But I could see his point. Certain words you can't fucking say. And then you think, yeah, you use that to your advantage as well, though. You wake up with a shitty fucking mood, like, you punk fucking ass bitch, now showers, let's be having it. Other days you just wake up and just think, fuck it, just hope no one calls at me. They never did.
So your first cellmates, what were they like?
Big.
Oh yeah, Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio. He was in there he was looking at 25.
Multiple 25s it was?
Yeah, 25s to life.
Drive-by shooting.
He was round Van Buren, and he was in a Chicano gang, and they were shooting blacks up, and blacks were shooting them up, and vice versa. And he'd gone by and did a spray, and as he'd done this spray, there was like kids come running out and that, and he got a couple of kids too. So
it was on the news every night. Some of them were critical, almost dead. One girl, the bullet had gone through her back, came out of her front and took her nipple off.
Yeah, and there is rules too. You start learning the rules as well in there, because you don't drive-bys are a no matter what. It's a red light straight away. You excuse me. You might as well be an informer or a child molester than do a drive-by. You're gonna get smashed on sight. None of that happens in Towers though. Towers, they don't know what the fucking hell they're doing. You'd have like pod heads. I was made a pod head eventually, because one of our heads got called out by some paisa, some
Mexican national.
Yeah, some Mexican national. Some young lad was in the showers, and like he come out of like "Mamma verga puto," called him like a motherfucking faggot. The lad wanted to fight him, and obviously because he felt disrespected, because he just called his fucking mum, and it's like, you think, this sounds a bit daft, that, doesn't it, just calling your mum? But they're very religious. They like the mums and they like stray dogs, don't they? Well, anyway, yeah. So these are about to have a fight in the fucking shower, and our so-called head goes in and says, right, and And this guy thought it was the guy who said it, and he just sparked our head out, just knocked him clean out on the fucking floor.
So the Mexican national knocked out the head of the whites.
Yeah. So, and he wouldn't fight. He just got up off the floor and went back to his cell.
And that was the head?
That was the head, yeah.
Ooh.
So I just fucking... Andy's like, look, we've got to do something about it. He said, I said, I've only been here 3 fucking months. What do you want us to fucking do? He said, just fucking wool him. Just like, fucking give him the big left. So, fucking, as soon as they did the count, Quinta, as soon as they finished doing that, I thought, all right, I'll fucking have it then. Smoked a little pinner, like fucking little tiny joint. I thought, all right, it's supposed to mellow you, but fucking, I thought, all right, I'll have this just so I don't go really mad with him. So I just walked in, dragged him off the fucking bunk, sparked him twice, and then like fucking said, look, you either roll up or you keep your gob shut, but you're not fit to be a fucking head. Normally, because, I mean, once I get to my prison stories, you'll hear about it too. But there's a big difference between Towers County and prison. Prison, people know what they're doing. They've got a lot more respect, and they know what they're in there for. There's rules. In Towers, it's just a free-for-all, because no one knows what time you're doing, how much time you're doing. Everyone thinks they're someone, and there's no, like, sort of... They mix... I mean, blacks would be in the same cell as a white, but that had never happened in prison, ever, ever, ever. Whites have their own cells, Mexicans have their own cells. But in Towers... They're mixed, aren't they?
I did have a Honduran cellmate who was a coyote for the cartel who was smuggling people over from Mexico into Arizona. Yeah, but if they tried to put a black in with a white where I was housed in Towers, the whites would kick off with the guards. But I was allowed to have a Honduran.
It's weird though, isn't it? You could just suppose it's because they're not really that bothered about... I think it's just the whole black and white thing, isn't it?
That's the main beef, isn't it? Yeah. So you smashed the head of the whites. Did that make you the head of the whites?
Well, it wasn't sort of the head of the whites. All it was the pod boss. It was the guy there was 16 white people in there, and he was the one who'd talk for us.
Yeah. So in the jail, in the county jail, there's 4 major races. There's the blacks, whites, Mexicans, Mexican Americans. There are some Native Americans, but they're a minority. So all the racial cliques just hang out, because when I first went in, I started working out with a Chicano, Mexican-American dude called Sniper, our La Victoria gang, Tempe. And I'm doing all these exercises with him. There's not exercise equipment, but we're doing like push-ups and pull-ups off the stairs and dips off the chair, off the stools and stuff like that. And then the whites, they're coming up to me saying, look, we want a word with you. And they waited till he went off, and they said, do you see anyone else working out with the other races? And look around, and all the races were just working out together. So I was like, oh, yeah, all right, I see what you're saying. And they're like, well, look, we'll give you a pass for today, but we don't want to see you doing this again. So these are the kind of rules that they try and enforce.
And we had it was complicated for us too, because like fucking a lot of our co-defendants, we weren't all white. We had
all our co-defendants were from Asian, black, everything, yeah, Mexican, everything.
All races.
We didn't discriminate, did we, La?
No, we didn't so La. Everyone got slapped the same. So I'm getting a bit sick of this Towers now. I'm getting a bit bored of it. And I'm sick of going the fucking hole. So by this time, once you fucking acting as pod boss, people just come up to you. It's like, I've got this problem with him and I've got this problem. And I'm like, oh, fucking agony aunt, fuck off. If you've got a problem, whack him. But the other heads in the other pods have said that we've got to come to you and before we just actually do violence. I said, look, I don't give a fuck what the other heads say. If you want to fucking be with the other heads, go to their pod. So as far as why you got me head here, if you've got a beef, don't come to me about it and cry. Just take him in the shower and fucking fight him. Win or lose. Not really that arsed about it. But it sort of sorted the youngsters out that too, because a lot of the youngsters, they'd like to go and cause trouble. And once they cause the troubles, they'd expect the older guys to have to sort it fucking out. Once you put it on their toes and say like, look, I'm not fucking asked what you do. If you get a beat down, you get a beat down. As long as it's 1-on-1. I think you deserved it, you deserved it.
And if it's 1-on-1, then there's not a riot. and then the drugs business doesn't get stopped.
That's the main thing. It's when all the people join in, and then the next minute it's a riot, and then before you know it, there's no visits.
5-day lockdown.
And then when you've got no visits, you've got no hot food coming to you. Well, you hardly had hot food in towers anyway, did you, to be fair?
No, it was always cold by the time it got to us.
Yeah.
So if you've got a beef with someone from your race or from another race, the heads of the races would just say, get in that cell under the stairs and squash the beef. And you see people just have a fight. And more often than not, because it was so routine, you see them having a hug at the end of it and smoking together.
Yeah. It was it's just a form of like respect. You've disrespected me, I've disrespected you. Go in there. Let's not just fucking. It's very rarely you're gonna get really hurt if you're having a one-on-one beef like that. They're not trying to knock your fucking head off. Well, to be fair, I did. I never went in there half-hearted. They always went in there as if like I needed to come out. You know what I mean? So I'd smashed their head against the wall and everything. But in general, people were like that. In general, people were like, we sorted it. Let's leave it at that, and let's learn by it.